90 league matches that have been played down the years, all of them in the top league, but they've won only one of the last 10, 3-0 here 2 seasons ago. Got the better record at home. This includes, of course, both Pride Park and the baseball ground, but Arsenal have won 3 of the last 5 games, so Derby County plainly a team that I enjoy mixing it with. Right, before we go any further, let's cross to our colleagues in the Sky Sports Dome and get up to date with today's top sports stories. Here's Claire Tomlinson. Fault but his, wasn't it, Nicholas Anelka? Incidentally, if you want any more facts and figures about tonight's game, then check out the stat pack on Sky Sports Online. There's the address, www.skysports.co.uk. Now, Arsenal's season last time around, and they made an indifferent start to the defence of their title. 6 games in, they finally got going against Manchester United.
Adams comes forward. In towards Adams! Nicholas Anelka. Schmeichel there again, Anelka there again! Hughes. Oh, it's a bit lucky, he didn't aim for Ljungberg, but he's found him.
They were involved in 2 of the season's most bizarre incidents, this one at Hillsborough. Di Canio went, Keown was sent off, but it's often forgotten that the Gunners also lost the match.
Let's go! That's won it!
By the end of September, they were as low as they would go all season. Champions League run came to an end with defeat by Lens. And unusually, despite going 2 up at Aston Villa, they were beaten here as well. Villa came storming back. January, and Kanu was brought in from Inter Milan. This was the other incident that we didn't stop talking about, the FA Cup tie that never was.
Best we can do now is to offer to replay the game here against Sheffield United. That's all we can do, because we have the feeling we didn't win the game like we are used to win our games and like we want to win our games.
The game was replayed. This one also finished 2-1, and this time the result stood. What a fantastic game this was, but Arsenal don't have such good memories of it.
In stoppage time, down goes Barra. David Ellery gives Arsenal the penalty. Bergkamp and Schmeichel has saved it. Giggs gets past Vieira, past Dixon, who comes back at him. It's a wonderful run from Giggs. Sensational goal from Ryan Giggs.
So they were out of the FA Cup, but they dug in the league. They ripped into Middlesbrough at the Riverside.
Anelka. And down he goes. Penalty. Overmars rather scuffs it in, but in it goes. Great chance for Arsenal. Anelka doesn't waste it. Kanu, 3. Is this going to be number 4? Vieira, it is number 4. Goal, 5! Anelka, still Anelka, 6!
Now we had a title race. They were top, and in the space of a week had closed the goal difference gap. They were 19 matches unbeaten when they went to Leeds and came unstuck, although they survived an early scare. But this wasn't going to be their night.
Kanu is there. Diawara off the line. Kewell. Hasselbank trying to stay onside in the centre. Kewell looking for the cross. Hasselbank!
There was real tension at Highbury on the last day of the season. They had to beat Villa and hope that United would slip up against Tottenham. Kanu gave them hope.
Completely missed. Kanu forced it in.
But But United had come from behind to beat Tottenham. The title had gone. But what a stout defence they'd made. Also of the FA Cup, to be fair to them. Good season, great season, but they ended up with no trophies. Lost only 2 of their last 29 games, 1 out of 22 in the league, and they won 17 of those. 52 from 63 points available in their last 21 matches. Lost 4 on the road in the league at Wednesday, Wimbledon, Villa and Leeds. The best defence in Europe, officially, anywhere in Europe. 26 clean sheets in all across the different competitions. And Nelka with 19, the top scorer, 16 for Bergkamp, 12 for Overmars, and Carnu, in a limited space of time, chipped in with 7 as well. Gordon Strachan's with us tonight. Thierry Henry, Gordon, he is young, like Anelka. He is French, like Anelka. But is that where the similarities end?
Oh, we're all hoping so. We're hoping we'll never see the likes again, because he made a mockery of the game. So the quicker we forget about him, the better. Let's go on to...
Right.
And hopefully a lad is as refreshing as Seth Johnson and Delap. We're hoping he's like that. He started off, I think the first he came to prominence when he played for Monaco against Newcastle a few years ago in the UEFA Cup or whatever it was. He played as a wide man then, and I think he went into play striker. Went to Juventus, never really happened for him then, and Wenger's picked him up, and just for the mere £11 million. But I think if anybody can help him to get his game going again, it's Arsene Wenger.
Because he's erratic, isn't he? Would that be a
well,
word
to be fair, who's really seen much of him? Even playing the World Cup, you wouldn't say, well, what did he really do in the World Cup? You know, there's no real defying Thierry Henry. I think we're still waiting to see what the real Thierry Henry is. I think the whole football world is. And I think the man who knows best is Arsene Wenger. He has a plan for him, and I think he's obviously spoke to him and said, this is the way I want you to progress.
Well, he didn't start at the weekend. He does tonight. He came on as a substitute at the weekend. Ivory got their first look at him. I think they liked what they saw as well, because one or two were raving about him after the match.
Played well. Yeah, he's going to be a good player. Got pace. Terrific player, I think. Yeah, just needs his finishing to be a bit better, and he'll be all right.
Henry's found a bit of space now. Is he going to make an amazing debut? Well, he's not low on confidence, is he?
Yeah, he played quite well. Not too bad. Just the same as Anelka was when he first started. It's unlucky, really. Couple of good chances. He would do all right.
Now Carnu, he's got a bit of space. So too's Thierry Henry.
You see he's got the class and he's got the pace. He missed 3 chances, but it'll come later on in the season.
Henry going through the centre. Here is Thierry Henry.
I think he made up for it in the end with his... I mean, it was his header that led to the own goal, and I think without him, I think maybe it would have been a draw today.
In injury time, how Arsenal would love a winner. Petit towards Henry with the header, and it's an own goal! And it's been created by Thierry Henry.
Well, looking at it now, I think he's already settled in, but I think when he's coming from Italy, of course, now it's a bit of a difference with the pace of the game, the space you have in the game. It takes about maybe 8-9 games to settle. I think he's a player who can who will look around and see what's happening around him, and it'll be a quick learner, I think. He made a very positive impression. I think you can use him on different sides. You can even use him as a striker. So yeah, that's only positive, I think.
Just thinking, Gordon, listening to that, you say if anyone can help him, Arsene Wenger can, but also I would have thought playing alongside not just good players, but with good characters like Dennis Bergkamp.
Well, the good characters have been at Arsenal for a long time, and that's, I think, Arsenal are a class team. All the way from the back, they've been excellent. They've got 2 giants missing, and Adams and Seaman, who I think have been the best in their position for the last 10 years. But the best coach in the world, there's no doubt about it, is getting good players and good pros who have played the game, and just watch them. That's the best coach in the world. I think we've all picked up our good tips from good players, and that's why we are happy that we've had at our club, Gruzovic, McAllister, Roland Nielsen, people like that, so the kids can look at that and say, that's the way you play football. And there's a football lesson out there for everybody, in every position, and how to play it. I think the full-backs have been magnificent. I think Winterburn's been a true great at the game now. I really do. I think he's been excellent. Dixon, it's all there. If anybody goes to watch a team playing football, it's Manchester United and Arsenal, and the kids just watch them, and I think it's the best coach you can ever get.
Well, he conducted his first press conference through his interpreter, Arsene Wenger, but he does speak English, and he told Jeff Shreves why it was he chose Arsenal.
I like the football, the English football, and I know the coach because it's him. When I play to Monaco, he was the coach, and he put me on the first team when I have 17 years old, and you know, play for Arsenal. It's for me a great pleasure because you have a lot of great players like Bergkamp, Overmars, Kanu, Adams, Dixon, Seaman. You know, all the team. For me, it's a real pleasure.
What is your position?
It's now it's 3 years. I played on the wing, left wing or right wing, but it's not a problem for me to play on the middle. But I like to play in the front.
When you spoke to Arsene Wenger before you arrived, did you say, will I play every week, or do you expect, because there's Bergkamp, Suka, Kanu?
For me, it's important when you have a lot of good players, because like the last season when Manchester win the FA Cup, and in the league and the Champions League, it's Solskjaer and Sheringham. And the FA Cup, Sheringham score 1 goal, and the substitute in the Champions League, Solskjaer and Sheringham. And you know, you had two good, how do you say that, a good bench.
There are lots of comparisons with Nicolas Anelka for obvious reasons. Are you the new Nicolas Anelka?
No, Nicolas Anelka, it's Nicolas Anelka, and me, it's Thierry Henry. He has his style, and I have my style.
That's a no. Dennis Bergkamp. Was it any coincidence, Gordon, that Arsenal made a slow start last season, and so did he? Is he that influential?
He's a big player, there's no doubt about that. But there's times in the season when it's different big players at Arsenal, and that's a good thing about it. It's not like it's the one man they're relying on, so it's easier for him. Because there's nothing worse being at a club. If you're Dennis Bergkamp and maybe the coach says, come on Dennis, you need to do it tonight to get the team going. I think you can spread it about in that team. So then you can relax a bit. If you have an off day, then you can relax and not blame yourself too much. But there's clubs who've maybe got one big player, and all the pressure's put on one big player. Because they're strong enough, there's lots of big players. And I think it allows him. I think when he went to Inter Milan, he was asked to be the big player there. And I think he took it personally if the things didn't go right for the team. And he was blamed for a lot of it, being the big players they do in Italy. But here, they don't mind. It's a club, it's club game, and he's one of the stars. They can have a day off, there's more stars to take over, because they're strong enough mentally to take over. Not just got the ability, they're strong enough mentally to take over.
Are they strong enough to get a result here tonight?
Definitely. I don't think there'll be too many goals, to be honest with you, because I think there's two good defences. I think Jim's defence is excellent. I think Derby, because there's one shot's not there, they'll have to be more precise. You say they didn't score too many goals last year, but they do a lot of passing. And the chances they make are usually good ones. It's a bit like Chelsea. It's not like other clubs where you put the ball in the box and hope that if you have 9 crosses, you get 2 strikes at goals. I think they're more precise in their build-up because of the height they've got up front, especially just now.
Well, Sunderland started their first game in the Premiership tonight against Watford, of course, at the Stadium of Light, I should say. First Premiership game at the Stadium of Light against Watford. We'll have highlights later, and also from Selhurst Park, where Wimbledon are playing Middlesbrough tonight. Here, live from the Premiership, 3 in 3 days from Sky Sports. It's Derby County and Arsenal in the company of Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Just a shot of the Stadium of Light there. And here is another pretty new stadium. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to come and work here, Andy.
Absolutely. Not only is the stadium good and the surroundings perfect for getting into and out of,
as Gordon Strachan's already said, the manager's a pretty good guy as well. I've known Jim for 24, 25 years, man and boy, so to speak, and he's never changed. He's a brilliant lad, and it's always nice to come to Pride Park, especially when he's in charge.
With his hospitality, we'll be leaving here tomorrow.
You might.
Right, let's bring you the team news. And Mark Palm starts the season in goal for Derby. They play with 3 central defenders, Spencer Pryor, Horacio Carbonari and Jakob Larsson, the new captain this season, and 2 wing-backs, Rory Delap on the right and Stefan Schnur, who comes in for Tony Dorigo, who was a casualty at his old club Leeds on Saturday with a calf strain. 3 working the centre of midfield, Stefano Eranio, the very highly thought of Seth Johnson, the latest high-profile graduate from Dario Gradi's academy at Crewe, and Darryl Powell. Paolo Wanchop has gone to West Ham. Dean Sturridge is out tonight. The transfer of Esteban Fuertes from Argentina hanging in the balance. So it's Mikel Beck and Francesco Baiano up front. For Arsenal, Alex Manninger standing in again for David Seaman. Tony Adams still missing from the back 4, which tonight sees Matthew Upson preferred to Grimandi. The powerful presence in midfield of Parla, Vieira and Petit, but Mark Overmars had an adverse reaction to his substitute appearance against Leicester. Freddie Ljungberg is also out, so Thierry Henry in for his first full Premiership appearance. And at the sharp end for Arsenal, it is Dennis Bergkamp and Kanu.
Well, what we will look for tonight, system-wise, formation-wise, I think 2 pretty easy systems to pick. Both managers like to play their own systems. We look at Derby's back 5, if you like. They do play there, but it's so important that Pryor, Carbonari and Larsson play well tonight. Gordon Strachan talked about them not giving goals away, Schnur and for Dorigo, and I think it's based on those 5 players, Delap and Schnur, defending well when they're needed and going back and making it a 5. But when this system works going the other way, these 2 need to have an effect. Against Kanu and Bergkamp, they're not going to have anyone sprinting past them tonight, Martin, in a way that Anelka might have done had he still been at the club. But they've got 2 incredibly talented footballers, and Kanu and Bergkamp to cope with. Ahead of that, it's important that these 3, Eranio, Johnson and Powell, don't get caught going forward too much. They have an obligation to drop back in and give them a little screen in front. It's not easy for Eranio and Johnson, I don't think. Naturally like to go forward, want to attack, want to control the game in that end. So Darryl Powell, I think, will have to be the disciplined one, because the 4 that are going to be backing up the 2 front men are pretty talented, aren't they? We've talked all about Petit, Vieira and Parla. We know all about them. But Henry will give them the pace. Not so much, I don't think, down there, but he might just drive through the middle occasionally, trying to get on any little balls that Bergkamp might thread through. For Arsenal's back 4, well, it seems strange not to see Tony Adams' name in there. The rest of it, and of course the goalkeeper not there, but it's a pretty good and experienced one. I think Matthew Upson certainly one for the future, and getting a chance alongside Martin Keown to come into this infamous back 4 and try and make a position his own. Baiano and Beck's an interesting one. I think Beck will probably put himself right up against the 2 centre-backs, try and move them across, create a little bit of space in between them. Baiano, I'm sure, will drop off the pace, go anywhere, try to get the ball. In front of those, the 4, I talked about Manchester United's 4 being as good as any at protecting the back 4. I think these 3, Petit, Vieira and Parla, do it just as well. They're absolutely sensational at protecting your back 4. It's just what they need. I wonder if Henry, though, Martin, will get the same job as Overmars, and not too much defensively, but concentrating going forward. And for Eranio and Johnson and Powell, I think this is the biggest part of the game tonight. It may well be settled on who wins this battle. Eranio's got the ability to harm you going that way. So is Seth Johnson. And I think, as I've said, Darryl Powell must be the one who anchors it. Fascinating tussle in prospect and a real test for Derby County.
Jakob Larsson, who's taken over. He's captained the side before. Many of you will remember that, but Igor Stimac was the club captain. But that job has now moved from the Croatian to the Dane. The Estonian goalkeeper, another Dane, Mikel Beck, the lap of the Republic of Ireland, though he was born in England. Spencer Pryor, an Englishman through and through in that line there, but there aren't too many, as Jim Smith has scoured the world to try and bring the sort of talent here that this stadium deserves, and the ambition of Derby County deserves. They've had this frustrating time with Esteban Fuertes. And that deal, as I was saying, is hanging in the balance. He is a powerful striker from South America. And you look at Derby's resources, particularly with Paulo Wanchope having gone to West Ham, that it is an area where they will be looking one way or another to strengthen.
Absolutely not. And I think that's what's, well, was cheesing Jim off this week so much, is that this transfer has had a hiccup. I'm sure we would have, as you say, had seen the lad play tonight. The clearance had all gone through and it had gone smoothly. And Jim will ditch it pretty quickly, I feel. If there's any more hiccups over the next couple of days, I'm sure if it isn't done and dusted by the weekend, then you see Jim Smith explore new avenues to bring other strikers in.
Well, both sides with cause for satisfaction from their first outings in the league on Saturday. Nigel Winterburn really blossoming at this late stage of his career. Leadership responsibilities, still playing superbly. It was no mistake by Gordon Strachan to say that he's developed into one of the truly great left backs of the modern era, and it's his 550th appearance for Arsenal in all competitions tonight. Well, Derby with that draw at Ellen Road, pleased with that after conceding 4 goals in each of their 2 previous visits to Leeds. Arsenal redoubtable character as well as their class already conspicuous in these early days. It's a high-profile fixture with which Derby start their home campaign, because Arsenal are on parade at Pride Park tonight. It's live right after the break.
Of course, we'll keep up to date with all the scores elsewhere tonight in the Premiership and in that Intertoto first leg final at Upton Park. And it's bad news. West Ham 0, Mets 1. Saha, the goal scorer. Here, it's Derby County and Arsenal with Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Arsene Wenger has seen plenty of Derby in his time in England, and they have always made life difficult for Arsenal. They've been here twice in the Premiership and failed to score both times. But their second-string League Cup side did come here and knock out Derby last October. Indeed, Arsenal put the Rams out of both National Cup competitions last season. So Jim Smith and company with an even extra incentive to get something from their first home game of the new season. Away we go. Derby finished 8th. Defensively more reliable, not as much punch in attack as Jim Smith would want. Mikkel Beck's got a chance tonight, a deadline day signing from Middlesbrough. In a way, defending well and a bit short up front, applied to their first game of the season at Leeds. But they won a tough midfield battle there in the end. And they have more of the same here tonight against Fowler and Petit and Vieira and company. They certainly will. Here is Petit. Bergkamp. Wonder whether Jakob Larsson will stay particularly close to Dennis Bergkamp. He has done that before. When Derby go to Highbury, they usually mark Bergkamp man for man.
Don't see any signs of that yet, Martin. Interesting to see if the Derby put them under pressure quickly, really press them when Arsenal get the ball.
Reception by Spencer Pryor. And here's Seth Johnson, his home debut. Eranio. That's lifted over Lee Dixon for the German Schnur. Just too high for Beck. Baiano was some distance deeper, so there was no one coming in behind Mikkel Beck for Derby.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need when you play the system. The widest player, Schnur, way forward. Looking for Delap on the other side. And that's the kind of area that Jim Smith hopes those two play in.
Delap and Baiano combining. And Winterburn ineffectively. Thierry trying to help out Thierry Henry.
I'll be pretty pleased, Jim. The opening couple of minutes, he's had both wing backs in, high up the pitch, in good, promising positions.
Kanu. Parlour trying to feed off him. Derby getting bodies around that midfield area and choking the life out of Arsenal's attempt to break forward then. It was a problem for the tall Nigerian, who rather got caught in the heaviness of the traffic then.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of bodies around there. Hopefully for Arsenal's sake it's just a knock, Martin, and he's not pulled his groin, and might just have tweaked the groin, you know. There's a challenge there. If it's just a knock, I'm sure he'll shake it off. Won't be a problem.
So remind you of the substitutes tonight. Beyond Burton, with some of the pre-season training, had a good season last time round for Derby. But he actually had an accident on holiday, came off a moped, and that set him back when he returned for work here. Otherwise, I think he might have been on the side with Baiano tonight. We'll see a little Italian who can be such a crowd pleaser and has a very good understanding with Eranio in particular.
This is when they've got to be careful, Martin. Eranio was forward, Darryl Powell was forward as well. They've just got to be aware of that, Derby, that they don't overcommit, lose the ball. With Henry's pace, you could say he'll certainly take some catching if he gets away.
Well, Thierry Henry is some 18 months older than Nicolas Anelka, and he has a more open personality. He also is a fine prospect and played, of course, a big part in France reaching the World Cup final, although he didn't actually play in the big game itself. Court, who scored on Saturday, has scored again tonight for Wimbledon. The referee is Stephen Lodge tonight, who's standing in for David Ellery, who was the original choice to take charge of this fixture. Dixon. It's a beautiful playing surface here at Pride Park. You'd expect that at this time of the year, of course, but it has shown every evidence of retaining its quality in its two previous seasons. Bergkamp. T. Young Seth Johnson, who came in with aggressive intent, but Arsenal kept the ball, and then Parlour sent tumbling by Schnoor.
Good possession that from Arsenal. I was just having a look at Dennis Bergkamp, Martin, when that move was building up. And Jakob Larsson, in actual fact, is getting himself pretty close to Dennis Bergkamp. And I think he's probably given the job of picking him up in free play.
And it's Bergkamp taking this free kick, so Larsson part of the defensive unit, in fact picking up Thierry Henry at the moment, or trying to. Bergkamp takes it. Well met by Pryor, and also well met by Patrick Vieira. That was a fine volley.
You won't hit many better than that the rest of the season. What makes this difficult is backing away from goal. He's got to go and chase it, swivel, and he hits it quite beautifully. Goalkeeper's fortunate it's that side. I think it's to the goalkeeper's left. It makes it much more difficult. Ends up a comfortable save.
That will be interesting, Andy, if Bergkamp swaps with Kanu, whether Larsson will go across with him there.
I think he will. I mean, it looks pretty set. I watched Larsson there, and Bergkamp drifted into a central area, and Larsson was happy to leave the left side and just drift in with him.
He's always been the first choice for Jim Smith to do the job if he's available, although Lee Carsley, I remember, did it in the Cup then at Highbury last season, the FA Cup, when Larson was given a different job. Carsley, of course, has moved on. Upson. Grimondi's done well in the Charity Shield in his first game, but Upson's got full fitness now, and tonight has got a chance. Beck. I watched Derby train yesterday, and they did a lot of work on forward play. Certainly what the home supporters expect to see, but they have, under Jim Smith, developed a reputation home and away as a counter-attacking side, really.
I think a couple of years ago they were very flamboyant, weren't they? They scored lots of goals, but also conceded lots. Jim tightened that up last year. Didn't score so many, but my God, the defence was much tighter.
Long from Delap. Beck, good support, good anticipation by Darryl Powell. He really gambled that Beck would win that one. Bayana. And Pryor on the left of the back three now, because Nelson has gone across with Bergkamp. Derby keeping possession. Seth Johnson.
Oh, a chance. Oh, a chance. Just opened up. They got Martin Keown out the centre. Dragged him into an area he really shouldn't be going. You see him chasing the ball, and because of that, there's a gap now. Beck bends his run in. It's not a difficult ball as it might have seemed. Big gap. Too much pace on the pass. There's a chance.
Equaliser at Selhurst Park, and it's Middlesbrough's new signing, Christian Ziege. Starting to pay a dividend. Johnson. Tight there with Darryl Powell. Here's Bergkamp. His clearance was ricocheting back, but Schnorr dealt with the ball as it dropped.
Good pressure, Derby. Martin, I'm talking about in their own half. Quite happy to let Arsenal have it in their own half, but once it comes into Derby's half, they really are putting some good pressure on. Powell, Johnson, Aranio, all putting Arsenal players under pressure immediately. Just like that, winning it back quickly whenever they can.
It's Aranio with the interception after a poor ball forward by Larson. Arsenal had really pushed up. And Bayano was not too far forward.
No doubt about this one.
Keown. To come to terms with the absence of Tony Adams, not just as a player, but as a person. Such a powerful figure in the dressing room, on the pitch. But the signs for Arsene Wenger are quite encouraging, that Adams won't be out for too long. He's had a hernia operation. Seaman stepping up his training to get fit again as well. A big match the weekend after next, home to Manchester United. Henry, Kanu, measuring it for Thierry Henry, but also measuring his challenge effectively was Horacio Carbonari. Didn't go in too quickly.
First little bit we've seen from Henry. Nice little give and go.
Arsenal's corner, and the ball rather died on Darryl Powell then. But he's up and running now, and this is a Derby counter-attack with a bit of thrust to it perhaps. But look who's playing right back to good effect. It's Dennis Bergkamp.
And showing a bit of pace into the bargain.
Pryor, Johnson. Rory Delap, who was mentioned in dispatches after the match at Leeds because he had a big challenge against Harry Kewell and came through it well. Good passing by Derby once more. And Keown was caught by Powell.
It was Martin Cotley. It'll be interesting to see what the referee thinks of it. He's trying to get Darryl Powell's attention, whether it's just a quiet word or whether Stephen Lodge feels deserves a yellow card. It is. Well, he just nicked in front of him, comes across, just catches a standing foot, Darryl Powell. It's awkward and clumsy rather than nasty and malicious, I think. I think he's a touch of unfortunate.
It's not too difficult to get booked these days.
It isn't. In fact, it's much more difficult not to get booked these days.
But Gary Lewin's been on a couple of times and inside the opening quarter of an hour. First for Kanu, now for Keown. Well, it's very much Darryl Powell's game closing down. He's got to be more judicious, carrying the burden of the yellow card.
I actually thought he'd be more disciplined tonight as well, Martin, as I said at the top, but he's actually tried to get forward. Any time he's had a chance, then he's gone forward when he could. So Jim obviously works on with his players that, well, if two of you go, then the other one has to stay. That's got to be disciplined.
That's a delightful pass from Bergkamp to Dixon. Arsenal trying to fill the centre. Oh, and Johnson's lost it. And at this level, that could cost a goal, but Thierry Henry, looking with due deliberation to place the shot, has put it just wide.
Well, he took his time. He had a chance. It was a great ball from Bergkamp. Such awareness of Dixon's run. He doesn't really cross it the way he would have liked, but the slip there from Johnson takes his time. He knows what he's trying to do. He's sending it about a couple of feet wide of Pum's left-hand post and trying to curl it back in. He's only a foot away from opening his account. Starts to bend, just not enough.
Mistake by Johnson with his weaker foot. He is naturally left-sided. And some judges in the game think that he is a real candidate to step up in representative football as a left full-back or left wing-back. He's very much in the centre tonight. Selhurst Park. A Hamilton Ricard penalty, not yet half an hour gone there. Just 15 minutes gone here.
That's a good chance, good opportunity now to put a bit of pressure on. They've only sent one of the centre-backs up, Spencer Pryor. The laps joined them. Beck, they're not the biggest. Derby County and Arsenal, well, it's about concentration. Big players, good headers of the ball.
Noah takes it. And it was a ball that had some venom to it. Rory Delap connecting. It was hit in pretty flat.
Just bending away from goal as well. I think it's about 3 or 4 yards deeper than they would have liked. But 8, 9 yards out. And Delap can go and meet it rather than you see him trying to arch his back and neck away from goal and turn it back towards goal. Not easy.
Bergkamp. No handball, and Derby pleased that the ball is in the hands of their goalkeeper, Mark Paul.
Awkward little bounce there. Derby fans thought that was handball, but the referee was having none of it. Kanu makes a good run. It's one of those runs that Bergkamp often slides them through. That time decided to go on his own.
Lovely hold-up play by Kanu again. Vieira. Tackle from behind by Carbonari. The referee's reaching for the card again. Oh, Carbonari putting a hand on Stephen Lodge then.
Well, that's inevitable booking. You know that now. As soon as the whistle goes with this challenge, you know it's going to be booking. Go to ground, concede a free kick, in from behind. We can have absolutely no argument once the whistle's gone that he's going to be booked for it.
So Arsenal have a free kick. Derby have 2 players now carrying yellow cards. Matthew Upson making a late run. He scored on this ground for the England under-21 team in February. Dixon. Looking for Parler. Captain played by Patrick Vieira. And the flag has gone up because the ball must have just bent out of play.
Absolutely, that's what happened. Soon as Vieira pulls the trigger here, the flag, you watch it go straight up. Not so sure it's gone out, I have to be honest. But the flag was up.
And Arsenal have the chance at least to regroup. That's what the Derby fans were complaining about. Mark Paul, there's not too much between Jim Smith's 2 senior goalkeepers. Russell Holt, the other. He lost his place at the back end of last season after he was sent off against Nottingham Forest and subsequently suspended. Here's Matthew Upson. He's bided his time. He didn't start a Premiership game at all last season. And I think he's been getting pretty frustrated about the lack of opportunity.
He's a young boy. And he's waiting in the likes of Paul, Keown and Adams, so I mean, you have to be patient.
Well, it's just a bit too much pace about that Arsenal attack. It lost some control and Kanu really had no chance of collecting. Schnorr for Derby.
It is very frantic, isn't it, that midfield area? A lot of players in there, pressurising each other. I think Derby would feel pretty confident as well, Martin, about pushing Kanu and Bergkamp up the pitch and getting as tight as they can. Pretty even game, as you can see from that. But they don't have to worry about the blinding pace of Anelka. When it's not there, you know, sometimes it encourages you to push up nice and tight, and they'll think, well, we can deal with Bergkamp and Kanu's pace.
Yeah, we heard Thierry Henry saying before the game that he'd like to play up front. He would add an extra gear, and of course Arsene Wenger has got the option of switching later in the game should he choose to do so. Here's Baiano. There's a great Palaranio.
Unlucky. The ball to Beck. Really wasn't the quality we expect from him. The 2 Italians broke well. Beck really had no chance to control that and bring Aranio back into play.
Bergkamp's foot was easy on the eye, but not too good for his team. Johnson wielding that left foot and picking out Baiano. Aranio. And the foxy Baiano again. Mikel Beck on his good side. 2 Italians were waiting for the cross, but it wasn't the best attempt. And Arsenal can bring it out with Vieira. Petit. He knows a lot about the strengths of Thierry Henry. And he was trying to tee up Kanu. In the end, he teed up Bergkamp.
Chance. You're absolutely right. The target was Kanu. Pass was a little heavy. Kanu a little on his heels. But I thought when he got in here, the defender did quite well. He didn't go to ground. He didn't show him inside onto his strong right side. He blocked that one off. And that's very unlike Bergkamp when he gets a chance like that. Rather choked it, scuffed it a bit.
Well, an early substitution for Arsenal. Silvinho, the Brazilian, is on for Ray Parlour, which means Thierry Henry is going to switch to the right-hand side. Silvinho, one of the new acquisitions from the Corinthians club in Brazil. He qualifies an easy access into English football via the European Union rules because he's got a Portuguese passport. Henry. Silvinho really brought to Arsenal as the eventual replacement for Nigel Winterburn. Keogh.
all nice and pleasant on the eye from Arsenal. But Derby are doing a pretty good job of denying them space.
It's good work by Silvino. Kanu, a little shimmy that defenders can be destroyed by. Petit, it just bounced up for him. And let's hear about Ray Parlour's injury from our man on the touchline, George Gavin. George.
Martin just had a quick word with Gary Lewin, the Arsenal physio, and Ray Parlour has rolled over on the ankle. It's a twisted ankle for Ray Parlour.
There you have it. But Silvino has started very brightly.
Well, you'd expect the Brazilian to have a few tricks of anybody, wouldn't you?
Interception by Powell. Benari. Steer it through the centre. Bayano apologising for not reacting to the idea rather than complaining, which is always a sign of team spirit. Derby had an excellent, if somewhat demanding, trip to the United States in July. At the start of their pre-season training, had a couple of really tough games. Vieira, it's a chance for Henry. Well stopped by Paul.
Good save, it's another good break. They're threatening Arsenal, they're getting closer. This is a good chance, in my opinion, that Henry's got here. Two good passes from first Petit and then Vieira. Lovely little ball. All he's got to concentrate is hitting it a little bit too close to the goalkeeper.
Free kick to Derby. Henry had some chances on Saturday, coming on as a substitute against Leicester.
We don't know an awful lot about him, Mark. We haven't seen a great deal of Thierry Henry, but I think in the times I've seen him, the one thing I have noticed, he does get a lot of chances, but he does miss a lot. It takes an awful long time to get a goal. He had 3 or 4 excellent chances on Saturday, another one there. If he's got to get anything, I feel, in the short time I've seen him play, there's more goals from the output he gets of chances.
Bayano. Henry down momentarily. He's back on his feet now, recognising that he's got to get back and keep that midfield shape if he can. And the tutelage of Arsene Wenger, where he started in Monaco, where Arsene Wenger was the supremo. So they have some idea of what's expected of him. Kanu. But Thierry Henry did score 3 goals in the World Cup finals against South Africa and Saudi Arabia. He's probably a bit unlucky not to take part in the final itself. He started 3 and was substituted in another 3 in the previous 6 matches in that World Cup for his country. Bergkamp. Vieira. Kanu has to go to the near post. Vieira to Henry, and now Martin Keown well forward. Petit. Derby again, as is their way. Well represented behind the ball, and they'll regard that as a little moral victory, forcing Petit to shoot from distance.
Yeah, striking's not been great. With a few opportunities. Henry, Bergkamp, Petit, striking the ball not quite the way they would have liked. But even early on in this game, man, one thing you can tell is that Arsene Wenger talked about Dennis Bergkamp. His touch and his vision is very much in tune and working.
Stephen Lodge with the 4th official, Paul Danson. Having word with the new assistant manager here, Billy McEwen, promoted to assistant manager. He's been on the coaching staff for a while, and you've got a glimpse of the first-team coach brought in for this season, Malcolm Crosby. He's done something in managerial terms that Jim Smith hasn't managed in all these years. He's led a team out at Wembley for an FA Cup final. Malcolm Crosby was manager of Sunderland in 1992 when they lost to Liverpool. Derby had ambitions in that competition, of course, last season that were quashed by Kanu. His first Arsenal goal in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. The very same player. Stopping Derby playing the ball out from the back then.
Well, it gives you a chance, Carbonari, I feel, every time I watch him. It's his style, I know, but if you're the front man, you fancy your chances of him giving you something at some time in the game.
When we saw him last season, Andy, we were both not impressed by a lack of pace, but Jim Smith pointing out to me that he was very rarely fully fit last season, and they had to stick with him because of injuries to other players, so you can expect maybe a sharper style of performance from him this season, but he has got that languid South American style. He's comfortable on the ball, and he does, the usual words, give the opposition a chance. What we haven't seen yet tonight is his fearsome shooting. Brought him 5 goals last season. Petit's header. Met by Upson. Responsible play by Pryor. Peter can make the angle for the goalkeeper. Keogh. Johnson. Nice work between Thierry and Petit, with Dixon lending a hand as well. And again, Bergkamp. Hands are up then. And Patrick Vieira has come off the referee, and that could be very cruel for Derby. Kanu and Stephen Lodge, I think the most relieved man in the ground, that Mark Paul made a fine save.
He did, because it takes a big deflection, this shot from Kanu, edge of the box. Nothing the referee can do about it. Sid Johnson put it straight at him, but he takes his time. Kanu gets blocked there, and that kicks it way to the goalkeeper's left. Wonderful save.
Bergkamp, good block by Johnson. Silvinho. Goal kick.
Well, it was a wonderful movement from Boom. We talked about goalkeepers having to readjust. This was a great example of that. The shot, it's going straight at him almost, but then it takes a deflection. He's got to adjust, move his feet, full stretch. Super save.
Well, here's a goalkeeper with vast international experience. Estonia require him again next week. He's coming up to 70 caps for them. Times in the Premiership, he's just betrayed an air of nervousness. He's rather different in temperament to Russell Holt, who at times is a very carefree person. Silvinho. Here's Kanu. Bounced away off Schnoor to be taken on by Beck. Vieira thought he won that cleanly. The referee didn't agree.
Just eases him out, that's all he does. From player Patrick Vieira, just a little nudge. And I think half an hour gone, 31 minutes gone. Apart from not scoring, Arsene Wenger will be pretty pleased the way his team have performed. I think they've grown confidence and stature, really dominating the game. I mean, look at that, 10 attempts already at goal. They've coped with most things Derby have thrown at them, which isn't a lot, pretty comfortably. And they're just up to gear, and the passing's getting better, the movement's been good. And just like that goal.
Something that Arsenal, I point out again, haven't managed at Pride Park in the Premiership since this ground was opened. Ian Wright missed a penalty here on their first visit. They were beaten 3-0 in the double season. It was the first defeat they experienced in that campaign. It was a pretty conclusive one. It was goalless this fixture last season. Henry. tracks. Vieira. Dixon. Again, being able to mesmerise the defenders so that there were runners to his left. Schnorr. There's a break on for Derby now, and it's Rory Delap looking to Mikkel Beck. Well, maybe he was trying to let it run on for Baiano, but I thought as he approached the ball on his good left foot, he would have a swing at it.
Well, I think if it's in front of him, then he has to hit it. But I tell you what, Nigel Winterburn doesn't have to do a good job. We talk about being determined and tracking someone, making it yours. I think it's maybe just behind Beck. He would have to have really taken a touch and hit it himself, but I thought he would have just tried to nudge it just away from Winterburn into Baiano's path.
Baiano. And that's Carol Powell, whose only ever Premiership goal came against Arsenal at Highbury. Getting on for 3 years ago now.
Well, he talked about the professionalism of this guy, and it's there for all to see. I just thought as it comes across, outside of your left foot, just nudge it. He didn't do that, and that allowed Nigel get the left foot in. Up he is quickly and away with the ball.
You were going to say this kid, weren't you? And he'd have loved you to have said that.
Well, he is. He's got the attitude of a kid, isn't he?
Absolutely right. Arsenal amassed 78 points last season, the same total that had earned them the championship the previous year. This time only good enough for second place. And they would love to get their title of pride of the Premiership back, but here at Pride Park, yet again face to face with the determination of Derby County. Bergkamp holding off Lawson. Kanu. Oh, that's it's a work of art, really. Some of his footwork.
Brilliant. And he points, you know what he's trying to do. He's so annoyed with himself. I mean, this is just fantastic. Well, and what he's trying to do is aim for the far corner and bend, and he's so annoyed with himself that he's gone near post, or he's ended up going near post. He's got no chance of scoring there. But if it goes across Mark Poom to the far post, and he's got that little bend and he sets it out wide of it, he's got a great chance of scoring.
And he's out to work tonight, and has been for the last couple of weeks with some real personal hardship. His mother back in Nigeria is very seriously ill. He's been back once to see her recently, and I'm sure we'll be going back again. It's Winterburn with 10 minutes to go to half-time. Arsenal bossing the match, but they have not broken through. Dixon, listen to how quiet the crowd is. As all the possession is coming from the away team. Winterburn. Vieira. Upson into the feet of Baiano, made himself available well with Upson trying to track him.
They just can't get any pressure on at all, Arsenal, any sustained pressure, Derby. It's been a constant flow towards the Derby goal. The attack.
We mentioned it a couple of years ago, Andy, and that swashbuckling trio of Wanchop and Sturridge, and Baiano had a great goal scoring. I think he scored in 6 successive Premiership games at one stage, but he wasn't always picked last season, and his productivity fell off, and it's difficult for him in these circumstances, but Arsenal would ignore him at their peril. Petit. Nelson trying to stay with Bergkamp. And whether it was a handball or a hand-off that Bergkamp was complaining about.
I think hand-off. I think he got lucky, Jakob Larsson. He turned his back to chase Bergkamp. The ball hit him in the back and then dropped kindly for him.
Bayano, that was craftily done. Pau, Aranio, emphatically stopped by Vieira and Silvinho. Petit, that's the pressure of Seth Johnson that caught Petit out. The shape of the team had changed a little bit for Arsenal then. Silvinho had got to the other side of Petit, and there was no one where Petit was facing to play the ball to. That gave Johnson the chance to make that challenge. That's encouraged the crowd. It only takes something like that to lift the tempo. But it's back to Arsenal again with Henry. Bergkamp. It's Larsson this time, but again, it's an Arsenal foot to the ball. And it belonged to Patrick Vieira.
Well, if Dennis Bergkamp kind of hung his foot at Larsson's challenge, Martin, there's absolutely no way that Patrick Vieira was going to do that.
Keogh. But the fact of the matter is that it's 0-0. Arsenal, on a fateful evening at Ellen Road towards the end of last season, had a lot of chances and lost to Leeds, and with that defeat lost the chance of retaining the championship. Oh, and now Vieira seemed to step in on Bayano then. Referee allowing the game to go on. Bayano certainly didn't like it. Kanu, another great turn from the tall Nigerian. Petit, held up by Carbonari's challenge, rolled leisurely wide by Kanu. Henry, look how many players Derby have got back. And there's another one biting in. Blood still pumping Bayano from that earlier incident with Vieira.
Well, the stubborn Derby have been great in that respect this first half, Martin.
Petit! That's the way to break them down, though.
What a goal. Been on the cards. For about the last 20 minutes of this half. The shooting I talked about hadn't been great, but suddenly Patrick Vieira picks a peach out. The possession was brilliant leading up to this. They kept the ball, just the one ball across. They get him in, just opens himself up and says, go on, have a bit of that. Isn't closed down quick enough. You can't give a man with a left foot that he's got that time to pick his spot, because that's what he's capable of doing. Beautiful finish.
A peach from Petit. Arsenal good value for it. And Derby's resistance, and they've needed plenty of it, breached. We're now inside the final 5 minutes of the first half. And here's Keogh. Arsenal were behind in the Charity Shield. They were behind at home to Leicester. So for the first time this season, they have struck the first goal. Bayano. Well, a bit of impeding by Upson. Not too much, but enough to the referee to raise the arm to award an indirect free kick.
That was a little unlucky, I have to agree with you. This time Carbonari has gone up to join Pryor.
And Rory Delap, who had that earlier header, towards the wholehearted Spencer Pryor. And Derby get a corner. Pryor describes himself as the archetypal English centre-back. Aranio, just nicked from him, I think, by Silvinho. Henry's touch. fire it is who gets the better of his opposite number, Manu Petit. Opposite number in terms of what's on the back of the shirt, not in terms of style of play. Super goal.
That was a great finish. Absolutely brilliant. It's fatal, edge of the box. 25, 30 yards out, Martin. If you just allow someone to do that, touch, turn, set, and hit, then you'll get punished. He's a world-class player, he can do these things. No pressure was applied quick enough. But they're worth it. They're worth the goal lead. I have to say, I've been very, very impressed with this 43 minutes that Arsenal have played. We saw Sunday a team dominate another, but at 1-0 it wasn't enough, and they paid dearly for it, Manchester United, for not being able to close the game off.
More elastic and elusive work from Kanu, but Derby got back at him this time. How? Well, it's tough for Bayano and for Beck. Manu Petit's been in the news, speaking out about the stresses on the modern-day player, the risk of burnout. Certainly a season for those teams in the Champions League, those extra games and the Euro 2000 qualifiers to come. Well, on the subject of more matches, plenty for you to watch on Sky Sports tomorrow. From the Worthington Cup, Brentford against Ipswich. That's Sky Sports 2 at 7:30. And on Friday, the matchup between Steve Bruce and Brian Kidd in the managerial hot seats, Huddersfield and Blackburn. We'll start at 7. Schnur, no flag. And it's Mikael Beck. Oh, the follow-up by Rory Delap. A most unusual goal, but great enterprise. And Derby, against the odds, have pulled it level so close to half-time.
Well, there's touch and go offside there, and Martin Keown's unlucky. It's a great recovering tackle, but there's another one. Another goal that will take some beating this season. To hit it outside of the right foot and across Alex Manninger, unbelievable. Haven't been in the game as an attacking force, but that's just about unstable. What a riposte.
Well, you felt it would take something very exceptional for Derby to find a way through with so little attacking possession. But the willingness of Delap from the right wing-back position to back up the play then. The ball just flew up towards him, and he took a chance, and he hit the jackpot.
Unbelievable. You see Martin Keown come across, he thinks I've made a great tackle, but that's past Manninger before he can move towards it. What a strike.
And it's Derby County's first goal of the new season, and it's one that they'll remember for the whole season.
Well, it's yet again more evidence, Martin, about the game, the level that we watch it, that you can be dominant, you can control a football match, you can be one of the top sides in the country, but every team in this league is capable of scoring against anyone. And Derby have shown that. They've been absolutely dominated, I guess, under every statistic that the lads went look at half-time. The most important one, that top left-hand corner of the screen, they're absolutely dead level.
Arsenal, who conceded just 17 goals in 38 Premiership games last season. But so far this season, it's a goal a game, and we're only halfway through number 2. But he is a very positive character, Rory Delap. Developed at Carlisle, and his sheer exuberance brought him an outstanding equaliser for Derby towards the end of the first half, in which they've been under the cosh for most of the time, and eventually conceded a goal to the magnificence of Manu Petit's left foot. Of course, Jim Smith will say they didn't get to him quickly enough, but they'd had to do so much defending to that point. But this extraordinary moment, an instant riposte from Rory Delap, and a moment that he'll remember for what looks as though it's going to be a long and distinguished career. And Derby are back in it at Pride Park at half-time. Derby 1, Arsenal 1.
More live football. Brentford and Ipswich on Sky Sports 2. That's from the Worthington Cup, 7:30. And if you want to keep up to date with all the scores tomorrow night, we have a soccer special, 7:30 Sky Sports 1. Gordon Strachan is with us tonight. We have got the 2 goals again, Gordon. The first scored by Manu Petit. He was invited to have a shot at goal. Having said that, it was caressed, cajoled, almost kissed on its way, wasn't it?
You can see the guy there just making a token effort with his foot, trying to block it. But really, whether he's tired or whether he's... This is in a football match. When you get tired, the concentration goes, and I think the guy's concentration went. I think in the first 15 minutes, he would have been out there to block that.
Is this misfortune from Derby's, from Arsenal's point of view? And
bit of misfortune. It's a nice wee touch and just a nice break, and that's what can happen if it stays at 1-0. And credit to them for sticking at it, because really they should have been finished. But big hearts, a lot of commitment, and playing for each other, and you've always got a chance that way.
Still there to be won. One apiece. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
One apiece and 2 lovely goals. Derby's 3rd season here, the stadium part of the package for England's World Cup bid for 2006, which was formally presented in Switzerland yesterday, though Derby's home would have to be enlarged if the World Cup, as we all hope, does come here. Schnur some early second-half possession for Henry. Dixon.
Looks like business as usual, doesn't it? It's almost as if they just turned straight round.
Petit skipping past 2 challenges, business as usual for Derby, and trying to curb the quality of Arsenal's build-up play.
You have to admire them, Derby, the way they have stuck at it. As I said at Everton at Goodison on Sunday, when you're only a goal down or you're level, it's amazing how your legs keep going and the arms keep pumping away there. That's the difference between only having a 1-goal lead and getting that very elusive second.
Well, there's no flag. Bergkamp! Arsenal have their second. Derby look across at the assistant. The goal stands. Tucked away by Bergkamp. Andy.
Talk about a man not panicking. I didn't think he was offside. The ball was beautifully played by Emmanuel Petit. And there's an example of a striker who knows he's got time. Beautiful ball. It's missed by Carbonara, but look at the way he takes his time, unhurried, side foot. He knows exactly what he wants to do when he's in there. That's not great defending, I have to say, by the Argentinian defender. Should really have cut the through ball out.
But world-class control and finishing. The brushstroke of the Dutch master. And Arsenal, who were understandably stunned by the very nature of Delap's equaliser, have regained the lead within 2 minutes at the start of the second half.
I just think that was a great lesson to any young players, any young strikers watching, Martin, of when you get in an area like that, you have more time than you think. And there was no panic at all around Dennis Bergkamp. Just complete composure and belief that he was just going to slot it in.
So a bright beginning from Bergkamp, having missed the Charity Shield. Not quite 100%. They kept him for the opening Saturday of the league season. He scored crucially to bring the Gunners level against Leicester. There was another wonderful touch to cushion the ball before he slotted that one in. And more of the same up here at Pride Park tonight. Derby 1, Arsenal 2. Carbonari's free kick. Oh, got there. This is Powell.
No chance. Absolutely no chance of picking his way through that.
But he got back to dispossessed Bergkamp. Aranio. So Derby have to try and do it all again, and some encouragement from the nature of the passing. Powell following in, and
I think Thierry got caught there, you know. It was a lunging tackle, an awkward one as well. As Darryl Powell comes through here, you see he goes on the stretch. I think he gets stood on. Nothing deliberate there, just caught his knee, I think.
more news from elsewhere. Very good news for Sunderland. Kevin Phillips with his first Premiership goal from the penalty spot against Watford at the Stadium of Light.
Well, it gives us a little chance to see that composure. Look at the way he had to stretch, Martin, then drag it round. Now look, he's had a look at the goalkeeper and he says, there you go, you ain't saving that. 3 touches, each served a great purpose. It'll be Arsene Wenger's words today, reading in the newspaper. Dennis Bergkamp starts the season fitter and mentally stronger than he has done, he thinks, in 3 or 4 years. That's a warning to the rest of the Premiership, I feel.
Patrick Vieira started the second half in pretty good shape, but that's not the way he is at the moment. Not, rushing to get back into the game. Already Ray Parlour, first half casualty. Now Vieira will come back on. Winterberg. It's good work by Bergkamp again. And his old adversary, Jakob Larsson, to try and deal with. Henry. Worked tight to the touchline by Schnur. Henry judged to have taken the ball out. Derby have taken the throw quickly. Bayano. Powell. Schnur. So far a good night for the clubs from the northeast. In contrast to what happened to Newcastle United in their first 2 games. Petit has scored one and made one with an arrowing pass side of half-time. Here's Johnson. Powell. Bayano. Tiger's gone up against Mikael Beck.
Went up late. That's what's annoyed the fans. If anyone's playing him on, it's Nigel Winterburn. But he was the defender who was a little bit deeper than the others. He looks to go in with a runner. There's a ball shredded. Oh, it's touch and go. He's probably not offside, you know. Those familiar Arsenal arms all go up in unison, don't they? Amazing how often that just influences
the arm to go up for the assistant. It's Dixon who's keeping Oleg Luzhny, new signing from Dynamo Kiev, out of the team. Luzhny is a substitute tonight. Henry. Vieira. So anxious to offer himself the ball that maybe confused Kanu in the end. They're both happy to get it into their feet, that's for sure.
I just wonder if it means a little different role for Dennis Bergkamp goal-wise. I'll talk about that in a second.
Because it's Silvino to Bergkamp. Just a bit of Henry here, but he's got the pace to retrieve.
What I was saying, Mark, with Anelka playing, you knew that he would be right up front, up top, playing on the shoulder of the last defender. It was Dennis's ability to drop deep. He did that solely.
Well, there's all sorts going on there. An off-the-ball incident with Stefan Schnoor was on the ground.
I have to say, I think that Spencer Pryor, is it? He's over the referee. He's certainly in trouble.
Pryor's got a yellow card, but Derby annoyed. Howard Webb is the assistant.
I think it was Thierry, Henry, Martin and Schnoor. Somehow tangled here, just at, see at the picture there. There's the hold on.
Yes, he's, well,
I mean, it's, to be fair, it's handbags. I can't believe that Schnoor's still lying down unless he's landed awkwardly.
He was tugged by Henry around the midriff.
So I don't know why he's looks like he's concussed. Unless there was something else went on. It's just tugging away at them there, just pulling him. Down he goes. No more than that. Might have landed awkwardly and winded himself.
Well, I hope he has, because otherwise that incident is totally to his discredit. Certainly the face that they're attending to. I think one or two of the Derby colleagues saw Schnoor on the ground and rather feared a major incident had taken place and reacted to what they thought had happened.
Well, certainly Spencer Pryor did.
He's seen it all before.
Well, it gives us a little chance, Mark, where this hold-up to admire yet again some quality finishing we've seen tonight. And that's what it has been. 3 quality goals. Unbelievable finishes, the first 2. Unbelievable. Rory Delap, great finish, and then, well, as you say, the Dutch master. 1, 2, 2, 1. But talking about Bergkamp, Martin, as I was saying with Anelka, he was always on him to drop deep and then find a pass for Anelka, not the other way around. But with Kanu, he's happy to drop off as well into what we would have called the Bergkamp role. Comes deep, picks it up, and it might just say to Dennis Bergkamp, well, I can then play up top, and I might just get more goal-scoring opportunities myself. And it's certainly, if it continues in that vein with those two, it wouldn't surprise me to see Dennis Bergkamp suddenly scoring goals on a more regular basis rather than being the creator solely.
There'll be a lot of Premiership defenders watching tonight. They'll be delighted to hear you say that. Well, this incident with Stefan Schnoor, I have to say, has got us a little bit baffled. It must have been the way that he went to ground and ripped his neck, or because he's being stretchered off here. And Derby are preparing the Greek international Vasilis Borbokis, who came here from Sheffield United.
Well, I have to say I'm as baffled as you, Mr. Tyler.
So Borbokis is on. He was a right-sided wing-back. It's the left-sided wing-back who's been replaced, but first of all, it's a free kick for Derby to try and defend. And maybe a shot from Petit, blocked by Pryor, who won't be shy of going for the header despite the presence of Keown. Winterburn not to be fazed by the roar of the crowd, although the ball sat up. It wasn't an easy ball to strike by for Alex Manninger, but he did connect
Is that a
the
shot
length
on
of the
target?
pitch.
A shot on target, do we give it?
Well, if the goalkeeper had missed it at the other end, it would have gone in.
Maybe it is a shot on target, the longest we're likely to see this season.
You think?
Yeah. Well, it's just got the crowd going, isn't it? A little edge, they're a little quiet, a little subdued, and suddenly that incident, little noise level has risen. Derby players feel they've been hard done by. Certainly pictures don't support that.
Well, on the subject of long-range shooting, there's Orazio Carbonari. That's his party piece.
I tell you what, he's got such big-looking feet. You wonder why on earth he can strike the ball. But not alone strike it with that sort of power. That's way, way out. But great power in the strike.
Turned over by Manninger. By Arno with the corner. Decision goes Derby's way for the throw. Chance to keep the pressure on. Come back once, can they do it again? Well, Bokis is playing on the right, and Rory Delap has gone into Schnoor's slot on the left. It's a bit of a poison chalice, the left wing-back position for Derby so far this season. Tony Dorigo picked up a calf strain at Leeds. Now Bokis called on as a substitute with Stefan Schnoor. Structured off at Pride Park. Powell. Lovely touch from Bergkamp again. Well to reach it, let alone cushion it infield perfectly. Arsenal can keep going to the right-hand side. And Lee Dixon, three in the centre. Kanu. But even he this time found the ball coming at such a height that he couldn't manipulate his limbs to deflect the ball goalwards.
Yet again, it was football to enjoy. Lovely play across field. Some lovely touches and just lacking there. Kanu, not said that often about that big man, have we? That his touch let him down.
Thierry. Not quite a full house at Pride Park tonight. A lot of the locals, I'm sure, having summer holidays. But very healthy turnout and a very enjoyable encounter for them to watch, although the majority a bit fearful of the final outcome and all Derby's effort, but making Arsenal work all the way. It's definitely a problem around the neck area for the German. Oh, Carbonari, very risky. What do we say in the first half? Gives you a chance. Johnson. Aranio. Derby will have to push more players forward. For Bokis. Flag's gone up and despite a gallant attempt, Arno couldn't reach it. George Gavin has some news for us on Stefan Schnoor. George.
Yes, Martin, Stefan has just gone past us on the stretcher, looking very pained indeed. He's got slight concussion, we're told, and a possible neck injury. He's holding his neck, but the doctor's with him now. We'll know more a bit later.
Well, it's a most unusual way to get hurt, but we wish him well. Vieira. Henry, in too much of a hurry. but it's cut out by Petit, and Kanu feeds Thierry Henry as well. Carbonari trying to buy Derby a bit of time, and at least they can regroup for the corner.
Thought he might have crossed it. I'll tell you that, once he'd got past Carbonari, it was an opportunity just to drop it in. He wanted to beat him again.
Darryl Powell and the ball bending disconcertingly. Another chance for Petit to whip it in. Silvino's gone across the face of the goal. But, overhit by Petit, having played the first one short, trying to go deeper that time, too deep.
I think what we're also seeing tonight, as far as Arsenal are concerned, Martin, is the fact that Arsene Wenger was conscious last year that he felt if Manchester United shaded it, it was because the squad that he had available wasn't as strong as Manchester United. Here we are watching a pretty good Arsenal performance, in fact better than that, and they haven't got Seaman, Adams, Parlour or Overmars on the side. Maybe evidence that that squad that he has and is putting together is stronger than last year's.
Well, still to come, Davor Schuker, who's been training in France and is about to join up with the Croatian squad, who've got a rather tasty match against Yugoslavia coming up a week tomorrow, after which he will link up with Arsenal for the first time. We've got more news for you on Stefan Schnorr. George Gavin.
Yes, we saw Stefan falling out of our screen, really, didn't we? It was a tug from Henry which caused the initial problem, but as Stefan Schnorr's gone to the ground, he's felt a nerve in his neck just click, and that's been the problem. A nerve in his neck has caused the minor concussion and the pain, and that's what Stefan Schnorr is suffering from now. But it was no more than the initial tug which caused the problem.
Well, we would never wish him a pain in the neck, but at least it showed he wasn't play acting, which was the first accusation. Now acting here by Bergkamp or Silvino, who are both down.
Yeah, he just gets caught. Jakob Larsson just hooks him.
Petit. There's Johnson. He'll be still toiling in there, and at times very effectively to keep themselves within range of a recovery, but pass not within range of Aranio. Bit of a hit by Borbokis.
I just think, man, we talked about Seth Johnson and two Seth Johnson before the match. I bet that young lad learned an awful lot about football tonight, about what's going to be required from him playing against Petit and Vieira. He might not be enjoying it at the moment, but I think the cold light of day sits down and thinks about who he's been up against, what they've been doing to him. Good for his football education.
And, at least forcing Derby forward. Of course, he had Batty and Bowyer and company at Elland Road, and he came through that one well on Saturday. Every week there'll be a new challenge for the young man who was so loyal to Crewe, could have joined Derby on the deadline day in March, but stayed to help Crewe in a successful fight against relegation from Division 1, and also turned down overtures from Liverpool because he thought coming to Derby get the chance to play. And he's watching Arsenal play at the moment. Henry, Silvino. Shown up by Borbokis. It's Johnson who slips. Still doesn't give it up. And that was diving in. Pryor is there. Well, Lee Dixon thought there was something a bit out of order then, but Spencer Pryor was going across like a man with a mission.
Well, to say he's wound up would be an understatement. Just catches him slightly.
Silvino. Bergkamp. Borbokis, well done, did very well.
Well tracked.
Not always easy for a substitute to get to the pace of the game. We had 2 substitutes, of course, in action there, but Borbokis has been on far less time. He did his job. Now Arsenal have a corner. 3/4 of the way through the match. Some pushing by Patrick Vieira, and well, had it gone in, I think it would have counted. Vieira was away from the play. That's what the crowd were reacting to.
Just at the top of the screen there. Tangle, I think it's Larsson he's going to tangle with. You can see Larsson's job was to block the run. Yeah, there was ever none of it.
Well, that's great play by Vieira. Kanu was given offside in the end. The referee could have let the game go on, but the crowd demanded the decision. Well, Arsenal won the Charity Shield 2-1. They beat Leicester 2-1. They are ahead of Derby by the same score, but a Derby County team with a deserved reputation for fighting tooth and nail was exemplified by Rory Delap's equaliser. Arsenal certainly not secure yet in this situation. In the 3rd major match of the campaign. But they might be if they get a 3rd, and it's Henry. Carbonari is the player getting the cheers. Powell. Well, complaints from the Arsenal players. Powell has been booked. And Manu Petit in particular is championing Dixon's cause, and without actually brandishing a card, the referee's direction to encourage him to do the same to Powell, trying to make that point.
Yeah, well, Darryl Powell's first touch was so bad that the next touch was going to be a tackle. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, it's Beck. It was a pass by Arno, and Beck couldn't take it on.
Well, if he takes it, he's through. He starts to make the little diagonal run here. He points. If he gets his right foot on that to cushion it, and no one's catching him.
Well, if he'd had Bergkamp's feet, yeah. But that's a big if. Now Mikkel Beck again. Borbokis. Powell. Powell once more, but it breaks for Petit. This pass, thanks to the challenge by Johnson, goes astray. And that's way below Bayano's normal standards of distribution. Here comes Borbokis, catching out Kanu. Pryor. Sort of give and go from a centre-back that Tony Adams was making his trademark under Arsene Wenger. Pryor has to check back now. It's Johnson losing out to Petit. Johnson having a word with Bergkamp. He's not fazed by reputations, that's for sure. Bergkamp presumably slipped.
We just had a couple of scrappy minutes here, unusually in this match.
Still unhappy with Henry about the involvement with Schnur.
He's just got a bit flat, Kanu, for me, Mark, in the last 15-20 minutes of the second half.
Just checked off the defenders to get the ball to feet here. Turning, but not quite with the same zip as in the first half. Here he is again, though. Wide to Winterburn. Petit. Nelson alongside Bergkamp when it really mattered. double for Kevin Phillips. Peter Reid absolutely sure that he would get Premiership goals. He's got 2 tonight. Corner to Arsenal. Some 17 minutes left at Pride Park. Arsenal took the lead through Petit. Rory Delap came up with an amazing equaliser. And right at the start of the second half, Derby caught cold, if you like, but a wonderful Petit pass and a brilliant finish from Bergkamp. This is Henry. Oh, and Paul improvised very well. He was outside his area.
Almost as if he realised it right at the last minute, Martin. His arms were up as if he was going to catch it. Then he just pulled them out the way and let his body do the work.
Borbokis. Getting a bit spread at the moment, and some of the fury is abated from the closing down in midfield. Really surprising after a match of such pace this early in the season. They're still feeling their way towards full match fitness. Winterberg. Bergkamp is for once back on his heels. Our side cast very much in Jim Smith's image of strong resolve, Derby. And Henry fouling Rory Delap.
Yeah, he goes to ground, he slides in. It's nothing, in all honesty. But when you go to ground, so time and again, and you can see the free kick, you're always risking a yellow card.
And that's what Henry has got from Stephen Lodge. And Kanu, as Andy Gray spotted with his usual wisdom, was beginning to flag. And it's Oleg Luzhny who comes on. Right-sided player. We'll see where he goes.
He'll go right, I guess, and I think Henry will get his wish to play up front, Martin, alongside Bergkamp.
Pulled out by Petit. Powell. Borbokis. And Wenger happy to raise his hands and wave that one goodbye. He's got a deserved European reputation as a real powerhouse down the right-hand side. He's going to play up front. That's the sort of determination he's got to match from prior. Borbokis. Johnson. Bayana. Johnson. Some progress through midfield, Derby. That's as far as it goes.
Tight.
And Borbokis on Silvino then, and that could easily be another booking.
I think when Henry gets booked for his tackle, then there's no doubt that he's been good for that.
As the old football saying, I got there as quickly as I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't quick enough. The match with its destiny still in the melting pot. But I ask you to consider your vote for man of the match and phone us on the number that's on your screen between now the final whistle.
I'm just looking down below me, Martin. Jim Smith looks like he's getting the last throw of the dice ready. The double substitution's about to take place.
Beck. Cross goes Keown. Beck actually got a foot to it and diverted it into the penalty area. That's then a bit of Matthew Upson. Certainly not dominating the game, Arsenal, at the moment. Derby digging deep as they look to equalise for a second time. Powell has put a lot into the game in midfield. Lawson. Just going to pass it a bit better than that to really get at the Gunners. Pryor. Bergkamp adroit enough to draw the foul.
And here comes a double substitution.
In the shape of Dion Burton on the left as you look, and Kevin Harper. Burton, who finished last season with a real flourish, got his game going in the Premiership after a loan spell to Barnsley. And Kevin Harper, most of his time has been spent at Derby being used as a substitute. So it's Burton for Beck. And it's the free man at the back, or the supposed free man in the middle of the back three, Carbonari, who's sacrificed here. Kevin Harper, who can play up front, but more usually in a wide position from midfield.
Yeah, 4-4-2 now for them. Seth Johnson's going wide left. Harper will play wide right.
Keown, and again, wonderful body movement from a big man, Vieira. Derby do well to defend and keep the ball in play. Hit long by Larson, and there must have been a deflection there, judging by the reaction on the far side.
Yeah, there was quite a deflection. Not sure who off though, that was the only worry.
Arsenal are given the throw. There's the background of a sense of injustice from the Derby fans. Oh, that's risky. But Rory Delap got away with it. Powell. Johnson. Here's Pryor. We're inside the final 10 minutes. Keown having to climb. Johnson in there quickly. And Powell.
Someone's getting booked. Might be Martin Keown for the lunge at the edge of the box.
He adopted the who me pose. And the answer from Stephen Lodge was yes, you.
Yeah. Doesn't quite get the header away. Johnson keeps the pressure on. It's a blind challenge from Martin Keown, not really sure what he was trying to do here. Turns his back on it, catches Darryl Powell. They don't have Carbonari, off he's gone, but they do have Baiano. And I've certainly seen that lad at the back of the net from this sort of range from set pieces before.
Well, I'm sure he's the one who's most likely to take it. Funnily enough, Jakob Lawson loves taking free kicks, but he's rather given up on asking for them, even though he's captain now. I saw an article where he said if they let me take them, I'd get half a dozen goals a season for Derby.
Well, this is what football's all about, Martin. Again, Derby haven't been in it as an attacking force, but the lead is only one, and all it would take is a spectacular free kick from the Italian, and we have a level board again.
And it's taken by the Italian, but not too spectacular. It was a guessing game beforehand, with Keown darting back as if to go on the line, then coming back out again. If it was designed to distract Baiano, maybe it did. momentarily by Luzhny. Johnson. Derby free kick. You can say many complimentary things about the FA Carling Premiership, but one of which is invariably the games go the full distance. Real value for money football, and Derby fighting right to the end here to stop Arsenal winning for a second time in 3 days. Winterburn.
Anything big on that ball, Martin, over Nigel Winterburn, and Kevin Harper was in there.
Well, Harper had a little dig at Winterburn, maybe a dig back because the free kick is gone against the Arsenal captain.
Yeah, there's just a little tangle here. You see Nigel catches him. Again, handbags.
Borbokis with the free kick. And that bounced up at an awkward height for Manninger. Pryor, the big presence in there.
Didn't quite get the head that he was wanting. Rather into the ground, but it still caused Manninger enough of a problem. He wasn't confident of catching it.
Oh. Well, that was an opportunity for Dion Burton.
There's been some questions asked of Dion Burton. Were they able to hook that from the edge of the 6-yard box and totally free? Just went to sleep. You often say that about an Arsenal defence in a set piece.
So it's the end of the road tonight for Thierry Henry at the outset of his Arsenal career. And on comes Luis Boamorte, who made an impressive cameo appearance in the Charity Shield, helped Arsenal turn it round against Manchester United at Wembley. Well, it's less than 5 minutes, plus, of course, the time added on. Delap did it late in the first half. And Derby find a second goal-scoring hero, and maybe snaffle a point. Having taken a point impressively at Leeds on Saturday. Arsenal's free kick. Use up a little bit of time, which is something they'll be quite happy to do. Luzhny. Oh, opportunity here for the recently arrived Luis Boamorte.
Well, you don't often see that. We didn't see it very often last year when Arsenal played, as the ball played wide and a good cross coming in at head height. That's a glorious opportunity. He might play the rest of the season. Boamorte not get a better opportunity from a cross. It was inch perfect. And if he hits the target, he probably scores.
Lovely delivery from Luzhny. It's still 2-1 to Arsenal, and a bit of ruck and maul from Derby there.
Well, it was a tangle. It's got 6 at one, half a dozen the other, but you can see just there, like, Dion Burton. Just get work with him, Martin. Be onto the ground.
Delap. Johnson. Dixon happy to knock it long. Powell. Again, great intricacy from Vieira. Derby crowd him out. The determination of Johnson once more. Borbokis. Milani on the chase. first and foremost preventing the corner, but Derby get a throw in well forward. And it's got Pryor interested, he's up in the penalty area. And Harper taking on Winterburn. Free kick given.
Well, a good ball required. Running out of time.
90 seconds plus stoppage time left. Oh, it's gone all the way across. And Alex Manning, I think, pretty relieved about that. He decided to stay on his line.
Well, I don't think it was quite there for the keeper to come. An awful lot of bodies, Martin, to have the keeper to have gotten through. It's just a couple of yards too much height on it. And Lusney gets a bit lucky at the back post.
Prior engagement in that Arsenal penalty area. No header from the centre-back this time, who's now got to chase and deal with the presence of Boa-Morte. Lusney. The Derby have never allowed Arsenal to kill the game off. And they're still pressing on. Hoping to bring a dramatic conclusion here at Pride Park. Seth Johnson. Whacked away by Winterburn, that'll do for Arsenal.
Well, Everton hit late on Sunday against the champions. Can Derby do the same tonight?
Powell almost lost it to Bergkamp. Delap. It's Pryor chasing forward, but it's beyond him, away beyond Harper as well. As we go into stoppage time, up goes the board, and there are 4 minutes still to go. Two eyebrows raised on that Arsenal bench when the light flashed up. Did well, but supported by Arania, by Arno. Couldn't keep it in. Arsenal just haven't been able to take the ball down and pass it as Arsene Wenger would wish in this hectic finale.
No, they haven't kept it as well as they should have done. But early in the season as well, Martin, I think as you get into the last quarter of a football match, you're going to find one or two, even at this level, getting a little bit tired.
3 minutes of stoppage time still left. Mawson to hammer the free kick. Has gone forward again. Out comes Keown. It's Johnson who heads it back in behind Keown, but now it's a chance for Arsenal to spot the ball up for a free kick of their own. Arsenal, such a dominant force in the first half. The first half that finished 1-1. With Delap's equaliser against the balance of the play. It's been a much more even second half, even though Arsenal have got the only goal in it. And again, the persistence of the likes of Darryl Powell serving Derby well. They need a bit more than that now. Long ball from Delap. Harper heads it down. This is Dion Burton. Keown, the saviour there for Arsenal. Boa-Morte. Felt he was being manhandled. The referee didn't share that opinion. Keown. And this is by Arno, but when the whistle goes, it goes in favour of Arsenal.
Well, I first wondered, was he offside from the knockdown? And then Stephen Lodge was judged it by Arno. The culprit just eased It might have been Matthew Upson out to play. Button does his job. There's a question about offside, but the referee decided that he used his body to ease Upson just there, edge of the box, out the way.
The flag didn't go up. No, that must have the replay supported the referee's reaction. Cleared by Paul. Keogh standing firm as Arsenal have done just about. I mean, Derby have had much more of the ball. They haven't carved out too many opportunities. Vieira. Morte stopping, Lawson playing it straight back, but it is Derby's throw. We're dealing in seconds here now at Pride Park. Referee has a look at his watch. And this is Borbokis. Last chance for Derby, you feel. Put it away by Upson. Delap. And here's Harper. Has to get the cross in quickly, which he does. Arsenal scraping it away. And they have got the points. It's played to 1-2 for Arsene Wenger. Arsenal's eyes fixed on regaining their Premiership crown this campaign. Goals of a high order tonight. Manu Petit put Arsenal in front after they really had bossed the first 40 minutes or so, and then Rory Delap struck an extraordinary equaliser to rekindle Derby. The second half, a beautiful goal. At the start of the second half, a beautiful Bergkamp goal. Derby caught out, hoping for offside, but the flag rightly stayed down. Arsenal weren't so dominant from then on, but although Derby huffed and puffed, they could not get through a second time. What will please Arsene Wenger particularly, he hasn't been able to field his strongest side, but he has started with 6 points out of 6. At Pride Park tonight, Derby County 1, Arsenal 2.
Plenty more to come tonight as well from Sky Sports. West Ham against Metz in the Toto Cup highlights coming up. The Sky Sports Centre at 10:30 coming up, followed by You're on Sky Sports at 10:45. And the football, there's plenty of that over the next few days. Tomorrow night from the Worthington Cup first round, Sky Sports 2 at 7:30. It's Brentford against Ipswich. Huddersfield play Blackburn Friday night at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. That's from the Football League, of course. Again in the Football League, Sunday at 12 on 2, Swindon and Ipswich. Super Sunday this weekend takes us to the Dell to see Southampton and Newcastle United. Sky Sports 1 at 3 o'clock. And to round it all off at 6 on Sky Sports 3 on Sunday, it's Rangers against Motherwell. Well, Arsenal have won again. This time at Pride Park. We'll get the reaction when we come back. We've got highlights from Sunderland to come, also from Wimbledon tonight, and the thoughts of the Coventry manager, Gordon Strachan. That's immediately after the break.
The workhorses at the back took over.
Yes, it was almost two different performances from them, wasn't it? First half, thoroughly enjoyable and entertaining. Second half, they really had to dig it out, didn't they?
It was the dinner jackets in the first half and the boiler suits in the second half, the guys with the boiler suits. And I thought Keown and Upson did excellent in the second half.
First half, technique of great players evident all over the park.
All over the place.
Half time, 4 world-class players on view. And they all appear to be in the groove as well. Look at that from Bergkamp.
There's a straight ball through to Bergkamp, and Dixon knows he's playing world-class player, and he takes off. You give that to another, 98% of strikers in the country. You don't make that run, but he's going to him, and you can make that run. You can trust. They trust each other with the ball. There we go again through the middle again. This is very surprising when you think they've got 3 centre-backs, 3 midfield players tight in there. But you can only do that if you've got the ability to Arsenal in the middle of the park.
I started to feel for Thierry Henry. You want him to score now, don't you? He needs one, doesn't he?
He's had a few chances, and as I said, it could be one of these guys that has to have a few chances before he scores. But I think the finishing comes as you get older and older. You learn where you want to put the ball, and you relax as Bergkamp done for his goal when you get in front of goal.
Petit could barely talk, and I'm not surprised, because I think he must have seen every blade of grass tonight. And yet,
There's another ball through the strikers in the middle of the park. I'm just saying that Cano plays like a 60s hippie, doesn't he? He wanders about like he's in a drugged dream.
He is a dream.
There you go again. There's the ball again coming through the middle and goal.
Fantastic.
I thought the danger would come out wide because you're playing against a wing-back system. That's where you're at your most vulnerable, but it seemed to be coming through the middle.
Is that the difference between the good and the great players, that they can find space?
They can, with a first touch, they can find space.
That's a good goal, isn't it, as well?
There's Jim Smith washing his hair again, just the bits at the side.
I think you might be right. Probably nothing at all to do with aliens. So 1-1 at half-time, and they
Here we go again. Look, from here, the middle of the park, allowing the ball to get past as easy as that in the middle of the park. That's like as Andy knows, what he's done the training sessions 3 against 2, when you have one man passing the ball from there with no pressure. There it goes again. You would think with 3 in the middle of the park there should be more pressure on that.
What about when he gets that ball? Stops.
Well, good players can make the run.
Okay.
Brilliant players do this touch, and world-class players do that.
In the hardest corner almost as well, it looked. We know all about his ability to shoot.
Similar to the ball they played in the first half as well.
9 bookings, incidentally, for Derby County now in 2 matches. What's that tell us?
Well, tell you, they've been hard games against good sides, competitive sides, and probably Jim didn't want to play Leeds away and Arsenal at home. They probably wanted maybe easier sides this start of the season. But his team's battled. His team's battled. But as I say, they're maybe shot at somebody in the air, and they've got to be really precise to get their passing and shots at goals. In the second half, when I think they played longer balls, played diagonal balls, and worked off the drop ball, filled the area. I noticed when the striker would pull away onto Winterburn, aim at the striker, Harper would go around the back and try and work something off of that, and that was about their best move of the night.
Arsene Wenger is with George Gavin.
Arsene, 2 great goals, weren't they? But how did you feel about the performance?
I think we played well in the first half, and it was psychologically difficult to just come back in the last minute of the first half. After we were lucky maybe to go straight away in front of Derby, and after it became physical, we couldn't keep the ball like we want to do it, like we did in the first half, and we just had to keep a good defensive organization and to resist. I think as well that psychologically for the players it was very important to have a first away win, and that's why we lost a little bit maybe our game, but we were resilient and didn't give up.
Anelka is gone, but do you feel Henry has the same kind of threat? Do you pose the same kind of challenge now for defences?
Yes, he has the same pace. He's not the same player, but I would say Anelka is more finisher and a target striker than Thierry Henry, who likes to play on the flanks as well. But he has to find that back, and he didn't play for now over 1.5 months, and he created chances in every game. He has to improve his finishing, but he will be a threat, I think. And with Cano and Bergkamp, if he makes the right runs, and if Overmars is back, and we have some players out at the moment, of course, important players in the team, we can be dangerous.
You were concerned about the points on Saturday. You've got them here tonight. That's 6 out of 6. But have you a target in your mind this season? What will win the championship, do you think?
I don't know. We are too far away. I have a target. It's just to do well in the next game, and further on you just can see that you will have nearly the Chelsea, Man United, and of course I personally believe Liverpool will be there, Aston Villa, maybe Leeds, and you will have 5-6 teams, so maybe we'll need less points than last year.
Arsene, good luck, thank you.
Thank you.
So Arsenal have won again, 6 out of 6, as George said. Sunderland played tonight in the Stadium of Light in the Premiership for the first time. Watford were also in business, of course, and we'll also have highlights when we come back from Wimbledon, who played Middlesbrough tonight.
This weekend, the Super League enters the crucial stages. playing for playoff positions. On Friday, Henry Paul returns to Central Park when the Bradford Bulls face the Wigan Warriors. Then on Sunday for Warrington, a last throw of the dice against St Helens. Four giants of the game begin the final push for the playoff positions. The Super League continues Friday at 7 live on Sky Sports 1.
The Vauxhall Astra has Lotus Tune suspension. It's engineered to give a more responsive ride. It's welded to the road.
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
What flavour's that?
Hang on. Yes.
Is it that flavour?
No.
Is it that? Is it that? Didn't know I liked popular flavour.
AA roadside cover costs just £43, and if you join now, your partner gets free cover for a year. To join the AA, call now on 0800 444 999.
What do the world's greatest snowboarders drink? The same thing as the not-so-great ones.
No, left. You're in the right direction, but it's the third...
Sometimes making the right choice can be difficult, but Duckham's engine oils come in easy-to-understand packs, making it simple to choose the right one for your car.
Down.
Duckham's, oil made easy.
You might turn to me and say, I was waiting on the way. Just me and a friend.
Astra, Corsa and Vectra Club now come with 0% finance. Call 0345 400 800 now.
Right, action from Wimbledon to come, and also West Ham, who are involved in the Intertoto Cup tonight. But right now we're off to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland and Watford. The commentator is Rob Palmer.
Now Clint Easton, the best chance we've had of the evening. Who's going to follow it up? Well, that was a tremendous second save from Thomas Sorensen. Well, I think Easton caught him a little bit on the unexpected there, and as the ball was followed up by Bono, that was one of the best saves of Sorensen's Sunderland career. Easton. The shot was in across, and Gunga comes in unmarked. Oh, mayhem, and almost an own goal on his home debut for Steve Ball. Page flicks away. Now Gray. Quinn readjusts. Williams tries to stop it and pushes in, and it's a penalty. Well, Mark Williams looks aggrieved, but I think the replay will show that he just turned into Niall Quinn and tugged his shirt and ran into him. And maybe it was the mildest of tugs, but the offence was committed, and it's a penalty to Sunderland. Kevin Phillips, can he score the first Premiership goal at the Stadium of Light? He can! Wham bam, right down the middle. And the historic first goal in Premiership football at this magnificent stadium. Kevin Phillips went for power,
and it was bullseye right down the middle of the board. Making this tremendously well to scoot past the fullback, and that was an absolute flyer, which maybe deserved a goal for intuition from Kevin Phillips. De Gea. Phillips capable of scoring from here. Oh, yes, he is! A 20-goal target, he said himself. That's conservative. 2 goals in his first Premiership game on home soil. At the Stadium of Light, that was direct and to the point, and left the goalkeeper standing only in admiration. It's going to be a long, long season for Watford and Graham Taylor.
We've seen some good goals tonight, haven't we? It's a screamer, that one.
Yes, and hopefully we'll join these goals, great goals tomorrow night. So I want to get over these great goals and get us great goals going as well.
Will that stadium help to keep Sunderland afloat, that atmosphere in that stadium?
I think so. The old place was good atmosphere to play it, but I think this one's even better. I've actually never been there, but it looks like a good place to play. Again, if you go to a place like that, if you're a good player, you're mentally strong, then you'll enjoy it. If you're weak, you won't.
Absolutely. Wimbledon played tonight against Middlesbrough. Of course, the Dons beat Watford on the opening day. Middlesbrough beaten at home by Bradford. Carl Court, a scorer at Watford, and that's his second of the season.
Well, again, a different type of football. Get the ball in the box and try and score any way you can. 2 different ways of playing. Derby had to pass the ball all night.
And Wimbledon chances. Christian Ziege with the equaliser. I think they played well in the first half against Bradford, Paul Jewell was saying, but Bradford City happy to mug them and come away with the points. But
well, Brian was happy with the performance, he said. Obviously disappointed with the result, but happy with the performance.
No
something similar to myself,
decision.
so as I say, I hope the same thing happens to us tomorrow.
Hamilton Ricard with the penalty for 2-1 to Middlesbrough.
Good football.
He certainly knew where the goal was last
Good
year,
football,
Ricard, didn't
yeah. Good football.
he? And he's up and running again, look.
Different man from 2 years ago when he first joined.
Just couldn't score then, could he? But he can now. So Newcastle hit rock bottom after that defeat last night in the Premiership for the first time. Watford beaten twice as well down there. Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester play tomorrow night. Derby County, 2 games, 1 point. Leeds United, Manchester United, Everton and Sunderland there now halfway, making up the bottom half. Middlesbrough, Wimbledon, West Ham, Southampton, Bradford, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal now reading up. 6 points, 2 games, the Gunners go top. Right, well, we've been watching this here tonight, of course, at Derby County. West Ham have been involved in the Intertoto Cup against Metz. First leg tonight at Upton Park. It was live on Sky Sports 2. Here are the highlights with Clive Allen and Ian Crocker.
Sinclair. He still has Lomas nearby. Frank Lampard. And he's tried to put Sinclair in here. And very nearly did. Boffin. Now they were claiming a back pass there. Paolo Di Canio. Plenty of European experience. Di Canio. Oh, put through from Lampard to John Walker. And a brilliant block from Letizi. Mistake from Di Canio. Mayriou. Danny Boffin looking for Louis Staha. And it's an early goal for Metz. And what a wonderful goal as well. The away goal, which could be so precious to them, and Upton Park is stunned.
And it is a stunned Upton Park. It was a well-constructed goal. Mayriou on his touchline, sweep back heel, Boffin sees the forward run of Sahar in behind Rio Ferdinand.
Bonker, Minto's making a run, and that's where it's going. Now, can he deliver? He can do better than that. Minto, Sinclair! Oh, the closest chance for West Ham. Di Canio, and credit to Galo, although Sinclair has picked it up. What a run, and he's found one shot. Great smother from the keeper, Letizi.
Certainly a time for Stevie to get it into the danger area, I think.
Lomas's long one goes right in there. Minto! Oh, just wide. Monker has picked out Frank Lampard. And he in turn has picked out Di Canio. Penalty! Di Canio sent tumbling by Gregory Promont. And West Ham are gifted a great chance to equalise.
Yeah, when the ball's played in behind, Promont trying to track Di Canio. He's got goal side, just the faintest of touches on his heels.
Letizi facing Lampard. Oh, it's a splendid save from Lionel Letizi to foil Frank Lampard, and still, oh, Lampard and Letizi squaring up to each other then. And it's all turning a bit nasty, and it's just not West Ham's night.
That's a shame, isn't it? It looks as though they played well there, the Hammers as well, Gordon.
Yeah, and it's I hope they get through because they've put a lot of hard work in it.
Yeah.
I bet you do. But they do, just for the players' sake and the managers, because they've put a lot of hard work in pre-season when we're doing pre-season.
It's a tough way to qualify, isn't it? And harsh when you finished fifth in the Premiership to have to go through that.
They've had a great season last year, and I think they deserve to get into Europe and play in Europe, because their football and the standard they played last year deserves to be there. And I'm just hoping they're going to get a result over there.
You've got the Dons Saturday, you have got Leicester City tomorrow night, and in truth, there aren't many streaking away just yet, but you need some points, don't you?
Of course we do, yeah. But I always say, I think if you look after 10 games, where you're after 10 games, I think that's primarily where you've got to be for the rest of the season, whether you've got to be in that relegation bit, the middle of the table, or up the top. We're hoping now to collect as many points as we can in the next 9 games. The players are very confident in doing better than they did on Saturday, although I was quite happy with them, but they were unhappy with parts of the game, which is good, and they're going out tomorrow night to try and win the game.
In a tough place.
Of course it's a tough place. Good side.
Right, that's tomorrow night for Coventry. Thank you for joining us. Very much enjoyed it.
It's been educational. Thanks.
Thank you, Gordon Strachan. Frightening as well watching Arsenal. Tomorrow night, Brentford against Ipswich, 7:30 Sky Sports 2. That's the Worthington Cup first round, first leg between the two. Friday, Steve Bruce and Brian Kidd go face-to-face. Sky Sports 3 from the Football League, Huddersfield and Blackburn, 7 o'clock start. Sunday, it's Swindon against Ipswich, again from the Nationwide First Division. 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, midday on Sky Sports 2, I should say. And that's followed by a Super Sunday with Southampton and Newcastle, who have gone bottom of the Premiership. What can they do about that at the weekend? 3 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, the Saints and Newcastle. And that's followed by Rangers and Motherwell, the Scottish champions in action against Motherwell. 6 o'clock start on Sky Sports 3. That's this coming Sunday, so you haven't got time to blink. And of course, tomorrow night on Sky Sports 1, keep up to date with all the football scores up and down the country for the Spain. 2 out of 2, 100%. They are top of the pile. We will see you at the weekend. For the time being, it's goodbye.
You held it in your hands. I
association with Budweiser.
I can see that. What are you listening to?
Oh, nothing. I just wear it so as I won't look too peculiar in shops when I go like that.
I bought a new recipe book. Do you fancy something Japanese tonight?
Yeah. Let's have a Honda.
What's that?
What's so fun?
Well, I've heard about bringing work home from the office, Ashley, but do you think you should be bringing the furniture back as well?
It's not from the office. I found it.
Where?
At the garage. Someone had left it by one of the pumps.
Well, shouldn't you hand it in?
Well, yeah. I'll do it in the morning. I'm too tired to go around there now.
Is it working?
I don't know. Haven't tried it.
Who do you think it belongs to? Someone important?
Well, yeah, somebody who thinks they're important. Some poser.
You're really saying that because you haven't got one?
No, I'm not. I don't need a portable phone stuffed down my underpants to prove I'm a big success.
I certainly wouldn't ring you if you did.
These status symbols mean nothing to me. It's people with nothing to say phoning up people with nothing better to do than to listen to them.
Well, it's going to take me a while to cook the meal. Why don't you take it down to the police station?
No, I'll do it tomorrow. Won't hurt them to be disconnected for one night, will it? Well, I think I'll have a shower.
Well, don't dilute your beer.
Oh, and if anyone calls me Miss Walker, tell them I'm out to lunch.
Business as usual, then, eh? Come on, let's ring someone up.
No.
Who do we know long distance? I know, let's ring Australia. How many hours ahead of us are they?
Thought they were about 10 years behind.
I'll ring up Alan. They'll never know it was us.
No. Elaine, it's theft. It's a criminal offence.
Well, you're getting very proper in your old age.
Well, I'm trying to read my book.
Spool.
Oh, come on, let's go to bed, eh? You know what they say, an hour before midnight's better than 3 hours after.
I always thought it was a drink before and a cigarette after.
Who can that be?
Well, answer it and find out.
No, you answer it.
Well, you answer it. You found it.
Well, what do they want?
Well, to speak to the person whose phone it is, probably. Go on, answer it.
What shall I say?
Try hello. Go on.
Okay. Oh, it's stopped. It's done what?
Might ring back.
Yeah, what if they do? What shall I say?
Well, just explain what happened. That you found the telephone and you're taking it back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, let's go to bed.
It's ringing again?
Well, answer it this time.
Well, go on then.
Ashley.
Well, what do I do? Hello? No, it isn't actually. No, not at the moment. Because, you see what happened? I found the... Sorry? Hello?
What did they say?
Well, it was all a bit strange. Sort of weird.
You're still worried about that phone call?
He said, hello, is that Harry? Can you do a job? And then he must have assumed he had a wrong number and hung up.
And it was definitely a man's voice.
Well, it was either that or a woman on 40 Hamlet a day, yeah.
Well, what did he sound like?
Well, he sounded sort of sinister, you know, like, hello, Harry, like that.
Actually, that's not sinister, that's warped.
Yeah, well, he did. He sounded criminal. I mean, you could hear his tattoos on the other end of the phone.
I think you and your imagination are running away with each other.
Now, let's just work this out. Let's say that this tabletop is the garage forecourt, right? And that this teapot is the petrol pump. And that this cup is the car, and I'm this spoon, right?
No argument so far.
We'll say that the telephone is, well, the telephone, right? So, I drive into the garage. This is me here.
In your teacup.
And I get out and fill up the car from the teapot. There. when all of a sudden...
An unmarked van draws up and too many white coats rush out with a straitjacket.
I find the telephone here.
Which, by a strange quirk, is bigger than a petrol pump.
Elaine, please. So, I bring the telephone back to the flat here.
We'll just pretend the flat's the flat, shall we? And I'll pretend to be me.
And we're about to go to bed when suddenly the telephone rings. Now, it rings twice. Can you just write that down?
Yes, Sergeant.
Now, the first time, we don't answer it, but the second time, we do. And when we do, a man's voice asks for Harry. So, obviously, Harry is the one who left the telephone...
Exhibit A.
...in the garage forecourt. Now, what do we know about Harry? We know two things. One, he forgot his telephone, so he's absent-minded. And two, he is driving a car. So, now we have a description. We are looking for someone with a poor memory driving a car.
And there can't be too many of those around.
Now, this caller, we'll call this caller Mr. X.
Mr. X?
Right, now, Mr. X asks Harry if he can do a job. Now, what can we deduce from this?
That Harry does jobs?
Good, right. You are learning. So, Harry does jobs. Now, the question is, what sort of jobs does Harry do? Dirty jobs or clean jobs? Little jobs or big jobs?
Sorry.
Right, now let's just assume that this sugar bowl is one of Harry's jobs.
For heaven's sake, Ashley, this is getting beyond it. I'm going to bed.
Elaine, you didn't hear the voice on the other end of that phone. It sounded like he was with the mafia or something. I mean, yeah, we could have infiltrated a drugs ring. Or there could be a contract out on somebody.
Who'd you get in touch with, Ashley? There's someone I'd like to take a contract out on.
Elaine, somebody's life could be in danger, and all you... It's ringing.
I can hear it.
Right. Okay. Hello?
What are you speaking like that for?
I'm disguising my voice. Yeah? Harry speaking. Yeah, well, I've just got a bit of a frog in my throat in a moment.
Frog? Sounds like you've got the whole pond.
Yeah? A job?